Okay, if this is your first time, welcome to the Collaborative for Carroll County Family Connection. I am Gila Gonzalez, and it is 9:02, so we are going to start now. We are going to be having a big event, and I know that all of you know this, but if you have not registered, please do so, because this is going to be a great event. We are going to have two representatives from Tanner, Willowbrook at Tanner, and it is wonderful that we have not only psychiatrists for youth, but also someone who works with youth. And we are going to have someone from Morehouse College of Medicine, and we are going to have two great counselors, one from Central High School and one from um, Carrollton High School. And the great thing is that we are going to have three of our amazing youth to be the host of the event. And so that is giving them, reminding them that this is all about them, for them, and by them. So I'm very happy to do that, that we are going to be able to do that. Do we have Macy in? Yes, I can see you now. Let me introduce you to our first speaker of the day, and then we are going to do announcements, if you don't mind. Missy, she is the parent mentor at Carrollton City Schools. And also we have Kate Carnes from Carroll County School, parent mentor. And as you know, this is March, the month for developmental disabilities, and so we wanted them to be in our meeting today, so we can actually hear all the programs that they have available for our students. So take it away.
Good morning. I've been with Carrollton City Schools a long time. I was a speech therapist. I was homeless coordinator before Kelly. So we're big buddies. So I actually have come to Family Connection meetings for years before I retired, and came back part-time as a special education parent mentor. And what my job is, and what Kate's job really is, all areas of special education. So we work with the parents. We talk about evaluations, the IEP process. We might talk about, different categories of how they qualify, occupational therapy, physical therapy, any questions that the parents have regarding special education. We also work with families and talk about things like Katie Beckett, family support services, Medicaid waivers, SSI, SSDI, and then transition after high school. We always like to think that, our goal is we want to get a high school diploma, which are changing, by the way, for students in special education. Talk about that for just a second. But we want to talk about what is the goal after high school, because we don't want our students to graduate to the sofa. And unfortunately, that happens a lot for students with disabilities, because it is very difficult to go into the competitive workforce with a disability and be paid like people without disabilities. And I know from experience, my son had brain cancer and has slow processing, is deaf, has a lot of disabilities, and it was very difficult, even after getting an associate's degree, to then get employed and to stay employed. And Kate is also a parent of two boys with disabilities, and her situation is a little bit different from mine, but that's what I like about our jobs, is we are very different. We all bring something different to the table on what our experiences are. But if I have a parent who calls me with similar difficulties that are more like Kate's kids, I'll call Kate and say, hey, tell me what I can say to this parent. What can I offer this parent? We are really a cohesive group. we work closely with Coweta and Paulding, all the way up to Walker County. We're the Northwest Parent Mentor region, which we are actually the best. Just ask us anytime. But we love each other. We're family, and there's nothing we can't ask each other. So it's more than just Missy. It's also our whole region and really the state. But we reach out daily with questions about, hey, I've had this situation come up with a parent with death benefits. How is this going to impact their resources? And so we kind of pool our knowledge or even our sources, and we might have to reach out and ask, but we will do that for parents. And one thing I do want to make you aware of is coming soon. Currently, our students with cognitive disabilities that are in our self-contained classrooms receive gen ed high school diplomas, and they can go to technical college, or whatever. It'll transfer anywhere. What's coming along is a state defined alternate diploma. That will be for students in self-contained classrooms. They will not be issued a gen ed diploma, and these will not be able to transfer them to get into even technical college here at Carrollton. I've called, they are not going to accept that. So we really have to do a lot of speaking with parents before 8th grade to make sure that they're on the track that they want their students on the track of, and make them aware that, a gen ed diploma is not going to be available, which if a student has cognitive disabilities, often that's not a surprise, and it's okay, but we just want to make sure parents are aware. So that's something else that Kate and I do. So anything having to do with special education, that's our thing. And we do parent meetings, and I talk with parents individually. I call, I email. We have a website. We did a transition website together with community resources that are available to our families of students with disabilities. And we have sent that out to all of our parents, all of our teachers, and our students. And so we really do try to work together and make sure our students have a plan before they enter school, while they're in school, and then particularly after school, which can be very challenging. But Kate is here on the call. So if you have questions for us, we would love to answer them.
Hello, Kate. Thank you so much for being with us. Do you have anything else to add, or would you like to say something?
Hi, my name is Kate. Like she was saying, we have children with disabilities. Mine are more in the adapted arena, so I have a lot of background there. So any questions you have, like she said, SSI, Medicaid, waivers, things like that, we could definitely help you there. I've been through that whole transition process as Missy has, so we both have that to kind of go through. So we're great resources, and we love to share that with y'all. And then all of us work together. I love it. I've been to the Youth Mental Health Task Force. I've been one to the meetings, and I love it. And I'm glad to be here.
Thank you so much. Anybody has a question? Ms. Sullivan, could you tell us what is the website?
I actually have a Google website here, and I can definitely send that to you so that share with you the transition website as well as my parent mentor website. And Kate, have you gone live yet with your parent mentor website?
We decided to go a different route, so we're not going there yet. So the transition fair is what we have at this time.
Okay. Perfect. So I'll share that. And I also have a parent hub that I send out to parents. And basically it's a PowerPoint, but it has a lot of my presentations attached to it. It makes it a little bit more fun for parents. It opens up in present mode so that they can click on different links and kind of explore it depending on what their interests are and what they're looking for at the time. So I'll send that out as well. But that I used my Bitmoji, so I'm learning a lot about technology because I found parents don't always want to come in for live visits anymore. They would rather click on a link and watch it from the comfort of their home in their PJs. And so I'm trying to adjust to that as well. But I still have had monthly meetings. I just have not had the turnout that I've had in the past because post-COVID, parents are more likely to want to do it online.
Yes, aren't we all? Well, I want to thank you. And if you ever have any need, I know that you already have Marisa, but in case we are creating a partnership with the university, and so whenever if you have something that needs to be revised as a translation into Spanish, the students are willing to do those revisions. And if you need translations, I know you have Marisa, but just in case, that is a resource that you can use as well. And we can all work on that. Thank you. All right. Well, now we are going to let Kelly. And let me introduce you to Kelly Law. She is a coordinator social worker at Families in Transitions in Carrollton City Schools. So we are going to be talking about the different things that Carrollton City Schools have for the families in transition.
Like Gila said, my name is Kelly Law, and I work for Carrollton City Schools. I'm also the social worker and the Families in Transition Coordinator. That's kind of a long title, but basically I work not the social work side, but the Families in Transition Coordinator. I work with our homeless students and families. You may hear this term in another system and it may be called something else. So some systems call it a homeless liaison. Some may call it a McKinney-Vento liaison. So just know that we all do the same job and work with our homeless population. And I'm going to go over McKinney-Vento. And Gila, I just really want to thank you so much for inviting us to talk about McKinney-Vento and our homeless families, because a lot of people don't know what services we can provide and how our students and families can even qualify. So just getting the word out there more is always beneficial. McKinney-Vento is a federal act that was passed in 1987. And what it does is it decreases the barriers for our homeless children. So many of our families are often in a state of transition. They move quite frequently. And so some of the services I can go into, if Becky doesn't, is just to help provide some stability for these children in schools. And I did notice someone from, I think, the housing authorities here, and the definition of McKinney-Vento is quite different than what HUD's definition of homeless is. And they could maybe jump in later and be a little more specific, but ours is a little more broad. And so the definition of McKinney-Vento are those students who are lacking a fixed, adequate, and regular nighttime residence. And we do look at that every school year. So the status usually ends on the last day of school, and then we will look at it again the next school year. So some families may qualify and some do not. In order to qualify, these are our families who are living in our motels, our hotels, and we do have several motels and hotels that fall in the Carrollton City District. Carroll County has some more in the Villa Rica area. There might be one or two in Temple, and then maybe, I think, one in the Mount Zion area. So, but anyway, they live in our motels, our hotels. If they lost their home due to economic hardship, say they were evicted, or natural disaster, it could be mold in their home and they're not able to live there anymore. We've had families with fires, some families who lived in other states who experienced, there might have been a hurricane in their home, they lost their home and they had to relocate here. Those families who have to leave their residence and are doubled up living with another family can qualify. We also have our families who are living at shelters. So we do have the one shelter here in town, the Carroll County Emergency Shelter. And then there's also the transitional house, which is part of that shelter. It's just a step down for more independent living. So any of our families living at those two places will also qualify for McKinney-Vento. If a family's living in a car, they do qualify. We don't run into that very often. This is my 4th year that I've been at Carrollton City Schools in this position, and I think I've only had maybe 3 or 4. Now there might be more out there, but I don't always know it. And we try to, if they're in their car, we try to get some services quickly to get these children out of the car. Families who are living in a tent, like at a campsite, they also can qualify. And we also try to get them out of those situations as fast as we can. And one of the other, I've never seen it, but if they're abandoned, if a child is abandoned at a hospital, and you might see that more in larger cities, that they would also qualify as a homeless student. And one of the other things I wanted to talk about is the term unaccompanied youth. We run into this every so often with a child, and this could be a student who is pre-K all the way up who's a senior. And an unaccompanied youth is a student who is not living in the physical custody of a parent, or it could be a guardian. And so say they might be living with a grandparent, they might be living with a friend. It's not someone who's like, oh, I'm going to leave home because I don't like living at my house anymore, and I'm going to go live with my boyfriend or with this girl. But if they get kicked out of their home. But an unaccompanied youth is one not in the physical custody of a parent or guardian. Now, we do have some unaccompanied youth who are homeless, and some are not homeless. And some might be like, well, how does that work? So say, for example, you have a student who has been living with a grandparent and a parent, and the parent up and leaves, goes to another state. Sometimes they don't always know where they are. That student is unaccompanied, but they are not homeless. They never lost their home. They're still living in the same place that they always lived. But then you might have some who the parent leaves and they drop them off with someone. So that's where we get the unaccompanied and then the unaccompanied youth. So I know I've thrown a lot of information at you. Has Becky jumped on yet to talk about services? Because I can go into that if I need to.
No, not yet, but go ahead. She has not
Oh,
gotten.
I can't hear you.
She has not gotten in.
Okay, all right. I'll just jump in and talk about some of the services that we can provide. We do receive a grant. We apply for the grant cycle every 3 years. And so once we're approved for that grant, we get that money every year. I think some people think that we get this money and we can pay for housing and so many different things, but we are not allowed to pay with the McKinney-Vento grant. We're not allowed to pay for rent, motels, mortgage payments, utility payments, any of that. So a big portion of the McKinney-Vento grant will cover transportation cost. So when I talked earlier about providing stability for our homeless children, for example, we may have a child that lives in Carrollton City and they lost their home. And they move in with another family, but that family is in Carroll County. So the parent has the option to leave the child for the remainder of the school year at Carrollton City, or they have the option of enrolling in the county where their residence is. And so they have that option. And it goes vice versa, same with the county. And also Haralson County or Heard County, Douglas County, some of the surrounding counties, we all work together, the liaisons do. So transportation cost, taking those students across district lines and making sure that they stay stable and they're in their school with their teacher and their friends is very important. And so we will pay for a bus driver and the bus to carry those students back and forth. Some of the other things that we can provide and the services are, well, students who are homeless get free breakfast and free lunch. But of course, this year and last year, several of it may be all of Georgia, every county, they are providing every student with free breakfast and free lunch. So that hasn't, affected any of our homeless population because everyone is getting that. We also, with a grant, we can purchase school supplies. So we purchase book bags, school supplies, and we keep those on hand in case a family needs it because they may be moving quite frequently. Due to domestic violence, they have to up and go, or there's a fire. And so if they just, we find out about it and let them know that, hey, do you need anything? We have those we keep on hand for the children. We also can provide some hygiene products for them. We're able to purchase that. We can purchase some clothing. We have to be very careful about that. And the state really likes us to utilize our community organizations in town first before we, do that. Usually it's for our districts who require a uniform, and we can do that. We also, with that money, can pay for after school fees and some tutoring if needed. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I know I'll think of some other services as soon as I finish talking. But anyway, I would like to open it up. If anybody has any questions, I'll try my best to answer.
There's so much that you said, and I've been making notes because I
Oh,
didn't.
Gila, can hear you. There you go.
Okay. There are so many things that you are saying that it's a lot of information, but I just didn't realize that you guys did so much. So thank you for letting us know. And if there is any time that you need the resources in the community, you just let me know so we can reach out to other organizations as well.
Okay, thank you. One of the other things, I'll jump in real quick, we did get some extra money due to COVID for the America Rescue Plan. And some of our families, we've been able to pay for their immunizations. We also can pay for their birth certificates, things like that, because sometimes they lose those in transition. And for the county, Becky works part-time, and she helps. Denise Kuzi is also the homeless liaison over there, and she and Becky work side by side, and Denise is full-time and Becky's part-time. And some might confuse foster care and think it falls under McKinney-Vento, but it does not. About 5-6 years ago, we were under the same umbrella, and they removed foster care from that. So they receive different services than our McKinney-Vento students do. And that's what Brittany Berry does here at the city, is she works with our foster care, and she's also the social worker. And I believe Becky Sailors also works with our foster care in the county.
Yeah, she wears the two hats.
She does.
Anyone has a question? Well, thank you so very much, Kelly. I know that we work very, very close together, and I'm very thankful for all the partners that we have, not only in our city school, but also on our Carroll County schools. And Miss Felicia, you have a question?
I just wanted to let everyone know that the Dell Foundation in Villa Rica has a homeless student program, and we also have personal hygiene products, as well as a Family Matters program, which has free admission to educational and cultural arts venues throughout Georgia to help families bond more, especially if they're living in a hotel and they're all cramped up, to be able to go on a field trip for free. Is a bonus.
Okay, thank you so very much.
That's some great information. I'm going to be reaching out to see. I didn't know if that's just for Carroll County or if that foundation would help students in the Carrollton City as well.
Miss Felicia?
It's anywhere in the state of Georgia.
Wonderful. Okay, I will be in touch.
See, that's what we do in our collaborative. We find out about all the resources we have. We're very thankful that we have the type of community that we do. So thank you all for being part of that. No more questions for Kelly?
I had a quick question.
Okay.
So I know you said that the McKinney-Vento Act doesn't cover any kind of motel fees or anything like that. Is there something available if they're struggling with that?
We usually refer to THS, the Holy Spirit Shelter, and in emergency situations, they will usually pay for, they have a 20 question questionnaire, and they will usually pay for 1 or 2 nights, maybe up to a week, based on the information that you're able to provide. And then there's our emergency shelter for women. That's primarily a domestic violence shelter. But I think if they do have openings and in certain situations, they would allow a homeless family, if they have enough openings, to come over there. I think they stay pretty full. Other than that, we're quite limited in our area as far as how many organizations and agencies are there to help with our homeless families.
One of the things that I want to mention is that St. Margaret's also helps, and it is the first Tuesday of the month that they do that. And in addition, THS, you got to remember to tell people that you have to text them. I'm going to make sort of a protocol that they have, so I can send it to all of you so you will know what is the protocol for the THS St. Margaret's. And the other thing is that if you know anybody, I just been told by, I don't know if you remember, but Mr. John Murphy from the Department of Public Affairs that was with us in the last meeting, he was explaining to me yesterday that this money that is allocated at the Georgia Rental Assistance Program doesn't have to be just related to COVID. And so people who are experiencing hardship could apply. The only thing is that I've encountered the problem that when the document, so I'm going to try to send, because it will be easier if I do a protocol and send it to you guys, and you have it so you know how to do it. If you need help with someone that needs to do this application, it's lengthy, but the first thing that you need to tell them that is that I'm going to send you as well the list of the documents that need to be used so I can scan them. Or if you want to do it, that is also fine, because the Georgia Rental Assistance, let me just show you that right now. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. All right. This is the page, georgiarentalassistance.ga.gov, but they have to go to here. If they cannot find, if they're going to be evicted, they can actually use this as well. And if the landlord is not wanting to get involved in this, they can still apply. But see, there's the first thing that they have to do is start the questionnaire. But the problem is that when you do this, you already need to have all these required documents to be able to start the application. And a lot of people got into this yesterday, not having valid ID. That is a cost. So it's not many people that do not have that, but there is all the documents. And so I'll try to share all of this to you guys so you know, because apparently they are broadening these funds to be able to help people, okay, that could become homeless. And so, or have become homeless. That's what I understood. So it doesn't hurt to apply. Okay.
Gila, I also think I just remembered, I think that sometimes the Salvation Army will help. Miss Roberta over there at our local Salvation Army in Carrollton. I believe they help with some utilities and maybe a rental payment. It may be a one-time, situation, one-time fee. But I usually suggest people try to get in touch with Miss Roberta over there at the Salvation Army to see if they qualify.
And she's amazing. Yesterday we were working together on something, and she actually sent someone to pick the client up. And so that is what our community is all about. So thank you. Okay, so we are going to continue. And this time we are going to have Allison Robinson from the Carroll County Child Advocacy Center, that they have something very, very good for our community. And it is new. It's a new program that they have started.
Good morning. How's everyone doing? Glad to be here. So I believe most of you are familiar with the Child Advocacy Center, but if you're not, just a brief, just some brief information about the Child Advocacy Center. So we serve children in Carroll, Haralson, and Heard counties, children that any kind of allegation of any type of abuse, whether it's sexual, physical, child-on-child abuse, neglect, witness to any kind of abuse as well, and so on. So just to give you an idea of how many children we serve, in let's see, 2019, 247 children were here at the center. And 2020, 306 children were seen here at the center. And out of 306 of those children, 305 knew their abuser. And so kind of shocks me every time. I've said it probably 500 times in the last year or so, but it still just kind of gives me chills every time. 2021, we did serve 307 children here at the center, and still 99% of those children knew their abuser. So that is what we do on a daily basis. But we have 3 forensic interviewers here, and then I'm the prevention coordinator, and we have 2 main family advocates. Miss Amanda Carden, she's our director here, and she's also a forensic interviewer. Miss Brandy Leak, she is our therapist. She's been here almost, well, I don't want to get time enrollment, not a whole year yet, but she's amazing. But she has provided this new program, and she's not able to speak today. She is in a training, and it is brand new, so I don't want to try not to leave anything out, but it's called FAST, F-A-S-T, and it stands for Families Are Stronger Together. And they use the Strengthening Families curriculum is what they're doing. She and Mr. DeMarcus Copeland are doing that right now. We're in week 4, I believe, and it is an 8-week program. At first, we're serving families here, but Brandy told me a couple days ago that we're open to other families in the community in the next few months. I believe the next session, she said, is going to start around the 1st of May. It's every Monday from 6 to 8, and we do provide childcare, and the parents and the children come in, and the parents, everyone has dinner, and they follow a curriculum afterwards. Mr. DeMarcus, he works with the children. Miss Brandy works with the families. We do provide incentives such as gas cards. And I will say this, last week we did the Darkness to Light training with these parents, and we had incentives. And this was the first time I was here with those parents. And those incentives, they were anything from fun things like makeup, or, like fingernail polish and stuff like that. Even some playing cards. And then we also had incentives like socks or laundry detergent. And those parents chose the socks and laundry detergent. So that kind of tells you, what, just how important that kind of stuff is to the parents that we serve here. So of course we wanted to, let them leave with in and up with everything. So that kind of tells you what's most important to them. So that kind of gives you a brief, idea of what they're doing here with FAST. So, and it's, again, it's absolutely brand new. So it's Miss Brandy and Mr. DeMarcus working together, doing that on Mondays from 6 to 8. And just in case anybody needs to write it down, they are using the Strengthening Families curriculum is what they're using. Other than that piece, we do have April coming up, which is National Child Abuse Prevention Month. You'll start seeing the pinwheels all around Carroll, Harrelson, and Hurd, probably around 25 to 30 pinwheel gardens. And if anyone would like us to set up a pinwheel garden at your location, just let me know. We are going to do the Pass the Pinwheel again. In years past, we did the ladies bunko knots, the roll for advocacy, which last year we changed that up because of COVID. I know this year we're not going to do that. The roll for advocacy. We're doing the Pass the Pinwheel again. I'm not sure about years to come. Just kind of playing it out right now and seeing how that goes. So we're going to have. Last year we had around 10 captains. This year we're wanting around 15 captains. If anyone is interested in that, just let us know. I don't know if you guys are familiar, but what it is we have a pass the pinwheel sign, and everyone passes the pinwheel on a daily basis. At least 30, like one captain has around 30 people that they'll go to each month, or your group can simply pass it. If you live in a neighborhood where you can just pass it, side by side, that works out great. But if you live out in the boondocks like me and Miss Amanda, you have to travel around and make sure that pinwheel gets passed. But it's just a fundraiser. You donate through the code that's on the sign, or through our Facebook, stuff like that. That's a big thing coming up in April. We have just a lot of events coming up in April. Our Wear Blue Day is Friday, April the 1st. Sorry, I get a little dry mouth. Friday, April the 1st is Wear Blue Day. And we're also going to be passing out ribbons to our partners in prevention. And again, we do have the Darkness to Light training here at the center every month on the first Thursday from 6 to 8. And the month of April, however, we're going to have it every Thursday. There's 4 Thursdays in April this month compared to last year. So 4 Thursdays in April from 6 to 8. That's open to the public. We do have limited seating. Around 10 to 12 people will fit in our conference room comfortably. Other than that, we can come to any group at any time, group as small as 2 to however large. And if the room is large enough, we're more than happy to provide that training. It is still free. And it's usually $10 a person, but it's still currently free. And it's still offered online for free through the code. Let's see, it's Flip the Switch, FLIPTHESWITCH. And that is on d2l.org. Once you receive the training, I need to go over the training in general. I'm sure you guys are familiar with it, but it's just prevention against child sexual abuse. It teaches you how to recognize the signs and how to react responsibly if you were to recognize any kind of sign of child sexual abuse. So that's the training offered online or in person. We're more than happy to come anywhere, anytime in these 3 counties, Carroll, Harrelson, and Hurd, and offer that training to anyone. And there's probably a lot more that I'm leaving out, but we've got a lot of stuff coming up in April. We'll have prevention tips on our Facebook page on a daily basis. If anyone has any questions, let me know. If you would like for us to provide a training, let me know. Does anyone have any questions at all for me?
Well, I'm very excited that it is going to start, Allison, because it always is wonderful to know everything that you guys are doing, but also to support everything that you do is part of our collaborative and of our community. And so kudos for all the work that you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you. And I also forgot to mention, Miss Julia reminded me of it right before I hopped on. We do have a t-shirt fundraiser online going on. I think it ends maybe tomorrow, but definitely it ends this week. If anyone, they're really cute. My favorite is the baseball tee. I ordered myself one. So if you guys want to order yourself a t-shirt, the fundraiser is on our Facebook page. And our Facebook page is Carroll County Child Advocacy Center.
Perfect.
Thank you for having us on here today. Ms.
Thank
Gila.
you, Allison. Thank you. Thank you. So is there anybody that wants to announce anything else?
Sorry I was late to the party. But I did want to let everybody know we're doing mental health advocate training. It's a 4-week training class. It's going to meet on Thursday evenings from 6 to 9 p.m. Our first night is March 31st, and I apologize that it's the same night as the Youth Mental Health Task Force conversation. We screwed up. Sorry. But if anybody's interested in the mental health advocate training, please email me. I'll put my email in the chat. And I can send you all the information, and I'll be happy to talk to anybody that's interested in that. So
Thank you, Lori.
Good morning. My name is Catherine Ricks, and I'm new to the collaborative, so I just wanted to introduce myself. So I am the Communities Relations Representative with AMER Group. I am on the Education and Training team. So I work with Georgia Families 360, where we help with the foster care, adoption assistance, and DJJ youth. So we provide training Mondays through Thursdays for families to better understand what the Georgia Families 360 program is, the value added benefits, and we provide those trainings to DFACs. We provide it to the foster families or caregivers. So those are available Monday through Thursday. So I am going to drop that link in the chat so that you all could have access to our calendar when those trainings would be. Also, I am having a resource fair for Region 4 on July the 21st at 10 a.m. It will be virtual. So as soon as we have the link and the flyer available, I'll make sure that I send that to you all. And we also have a youth advisory council that we're trying to get a youth to participate in. We currently have 4 youth, and we're looking to at least have 14 youth to represent all of the regions in the state of Georgia. So I will also drop that in the chat. And so sidebar to the marketing side, I believe Summer Lewis was a part of your collaborative. So she's on our marketing team now, and she has some upcoming events as well. So I'll try to drop all of that in the chat before we all log off. But thank you so much for having me, and I look forward to working with you all. Have a great day.
Thank you so very much, Mrs. Ricks. Thank you. Also remember that we have the Youth Mental Health Task Force community conversations on March 31st. Please register. It's free. I don't know, when I was doing the Eventbrite, it said that you have to, buy tickets. And I'm like, no, it's completely free. The reason we are asking for you to register is so we know how many people are going to be attending, and please share it with everyone that you know. If you have not downloaded it, I am going to be sending it via email. And is there anything else that you want to?
Yeah, this is Patrick from the Rafa Clinic.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Just fine? Okay.
Yes.
And we are teaming up with the Red Rock Wellness group, and we're doing a Rafa Yoga this Saturday on the 19th at 10:30 at Red Rock. And all the proceeds will go to the Rafa Clinic. So if you guys are interested in doing yoga and helping out the Rafa Clinic, make sure to check out Red Rock Wellness. And I'm going to put my email in the chat just in case if anybody has any questions. But again, thank you so much for hosting this every month. This is wonderful.
Thank you, Patrick. Thank you. And if you have a flyer, please send it my way.
Okay, will do. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Is there anybody else? I don't want to.
Gila, can I offer an exciting thing? This is Karen Wild. I'm representing First Readers. We have been coordinating with Tanner before COVID. My word, I hate to even say that, but we had a partnership where we would go in with 4th trimester parents, so parents who just had babies, and offer the Conversations Count training. And that had basically been put on ice for a couple of years, but I just spoke with Natalie. We're going to start that back up again in May. So I just say that to say, oh my goodness, it feels good to maybe turning a corner back to some face-to-face opportunities. So I'm just a little bit of sunshine there.
Perfect, Karen. Thank you very much. Okay, well, our meeting has ended, and if you have any questions or any events that you want to send so we can put it in a larger file for everybody, please send it my way. And have a blessed day, and thank you all for coming and speaking and being participants of the collaborative of Carroll County Family Connection. Thank you. Bye.